My name is Rob Little, and I'm the principal at Pythes. We work with state and local governments to accelerate the business attraction process. In this video, we're going to look at two key concepts in business attraction. The first is the process that a business usually goes through when making an informed investment location decision. And the second are some of the key considerations that a business takes into account when making that decision. So firstly, looking at the process, we're going to spend a little bit of time on this because it's really important. We're going to look at the four key stages of the process. We're going to look at where local and state governments are typically asked to provide value, and we're going to look at where some of the top investment promotion agencies globally take this a step further. So firstly, looking at the four stages. The first stage is the company will identify a market opportunity. It will then conduct a pre-feasibility study on options to take advantage of that market opportunity, followed by a full feasibility study, and then a business case. The typical process for this is that the business will identify the market opportunity through research, both desktop and through engagement with current and future customers. What they're looking to do is quantify and verify that a significant market opportunity exists that has strong alignment with their business's strategic objectives. The pre-feasibility study will typically examine a wide range of options with the purpose of filtering in or filtering out preferred options for further analysis at the full feasibility study stage. The pre-feasibility study stage is typically high level. It is typically relatively short, so between 2 weeks and 6 months, and it's typically relatively cheap. The full feasibility study process, by contrast, is a lot longer, usually between 6 and 18 months, and a lot more expensive. It examines in detail the preferred options put forward by the pre-feasibility study, makes an assessment of them, and then makes recommendations to the business case stage. While the feasibility study stages seek to examine whether or not a company could take advantage of the market opportunity, the business case stage seeks to answer the question of whether or not the company should take advantage of the market opportunity. It will take the information from the feasibility stage and make a full assessment on whether or not the business should, whether or not the preferred option or options put forward by the feasibility study are strongly enough aligned with the business's strategic objectives to make a final investment decision. The business case is typically put forward to the board or the senior executives. That's the typical process that a business goes through when making an investment location decision. Where local and state governments are typically asked or invited to provide value is at the pre-feasibility and feasibility study stages. They're typically asked to provide information, connections, and site visits. It is possible to conceptualize all economic development agencies when it comes to business attraction within a pyramid. And one step above the bottom, and at a minimum, economic development agencies should be aiming to be able to provide information that is timely, accurate, and comprehensive, provide connections that are relevant and accessible, and conduct site visits or facilitate site visits that are efficient and professionally delivered. This is not to be underestimated. I'm aware of an example where two different jurisdictions were competing for a project. The first jurisdiction provided information that was timely, accurate, and comprehensive. The second jurisdiction missed the deadline by 2 weeks. On the face of it, the location being put forward by the second jurisdiction should have been stronger. It had a larger and more relevant workforce, a larger and more relevant industry cluster, and it had better access to international markets. But because it missed the deadline, it wasn't considered. The business made a decision to set up in the first jurisdiction's location, and the advanced manufacturing project, along with the 60 high-wage, high-value jobs, went into that location. So that's where local and state governments are usually invited to provide value. Where top investment promotion agencies and economic development agencies globally provide additional value is earlier in the process at the market opportunity identification and pre-feasibility study stages. So they will invest resource in identifying a specific market opportunity, which is not usually an entire sector like the battery manufacturing supply chain. They look to identify a component of that. So it could be looking to attract a facility that refines and smelts the critical minerals that go into battery manufacturing. Or it could be looking to attract a facility that manufactures battery cells or assembles battery cells or recycles battery cells. This will lead into the pre-feasibility study, where relatively detailed information is provided as evidence for why the location is the preeminent option for establishing a facility. Doing this work on behalf of the business not only accelerates the process, but when combined with an effective and efficient engagement with the business more broadly, positions the location at the top of the forefront of the alternatives considered. So it positions the location as being low risk, high potential, and that the community will welcome the facility. Looking at some of the key considerations that a business takes into account when making investment location decisions, ultimately what a business is looking to do is to achieve a significant and enduring competitive advantage. And you must provide that in one or more of these categories. So access to domestic or international markets, access to a relevant workforce, access to key inputs like agricultural or mining inputs, access to research and development, so that could be cutting edge AI or cyber that is commercializable, for example, access to the right property that is the right size, has the right zoning, has the right access to electricity, gas, water, and transport infrastructure, has a competitive cost of doing business, which is something that state and local governments can directly impact, and has a permissible regulatory and legal environment, not less than planning. Where top IPAs will take this to the next level is around providing incentives, which may be financial, but they may also be non-financial. So, for example, by providing accelerated planning pathways or by providing tailored workforce development solutions. These two key concepts are really critical for you when you're developing and delivering your business attraction strategy. If you have any questions about this presentation, feel free to get in touch. Assess your location's readiness to attract new businesses with our free Investment Attraction Ready scorecard located on our website. By answering 20 questions, you can benchmark your existing processes, tools, and strategies in under 3 minutes. And check out our website for free tools, templates, and videos, as well as our paid services for select partners. Let's work together to accelerate business attraction.